There we go. Now we starting over, y'all, because I was muted there for a minute. How are you today? I pray that you are doing well on this beautiful, today is Monday. Monday is a beautiful day to be alive. Monday afternoon. So y'all just go ahead and give God some praise. I know you hear my music. Y'all know I'm big about copyright free music. I don't want Facebook shutting off anything I got to say today because I got some words for you from the Lord about our life and our ability to live successfully in Him. So just go ahead and give God some glory on today because it is because of Him that we are here, and it's in Him that I live and move and have my being. And I pray that if I don't do anything else today, I am motivating you to get in Him and live and move and have your being as a woman of faith, as a woman of God, as a woman who gets up every day and goes to work, comes home and takes care of her family, goes over to them churches and in them communities and serves. Y'all, excuse me. You know how you all roll, you ladies who have all these different things that you're doing, dreams that you're pursuing, striving to live the life that God has intended for you to live. But all along, while you're doing that, sometimes you are putting yourself on the back burner. Well, I stopped by here today to tell you that you don't have to put yourself on the back burner in order to do what God has called you to do. Well, my name is Michelle Fuqua, and I am passionate about you, passionate about helping you to figure out how to get the juice out of your life, how to ignite the fire that God has put on the inside of you and take your life to the next level and the next level and the next level to move to that place where you're not being about your dreams, but you are actually building the dream life that God has already seated in you, unapologetically getting up every day and doing the doggone thing. And I want to walk with you and encourage you and help you to get there. Well, this is my first, is that true? This isn't my first live of 2023, but this is my first structured live of 2023. And I want today to talk to you a little bit about getting to December 31st, getting to that place where the things that you dreamed about for 2023, you don't get to December and you still have not got anything done that is pertaining to your heart's desires and is pertaining to your dreams. Now, truthfully, at the end of the year, you will have done a whole lot of things. You will have made a whole lot of accomplishments, and you will have served on your job, served at church, served in your community, and done well. But I want to talk about that secret place. I want to talk about that place where there are things on the inside of you that you have yet birthed, that we know that God is calling you to give birth to live out. And I want us this year to move into that. So today, and I purposely waited until about the third week in January to talk about goals. Last year, I started right after New Year's, and we talked about how to make sure that you keep your New Year's resolution. Well, y'all know who have followed me for a while, I'm boycotting the whole concept and idea of New Year's resolution because we are way too strategic to set some goals on December 31st and pull them out of the air and throw them on the wall. And then we lose interest in them because they are not pertaining to our heart's desire. They are not rooted in our why, and they do not demonstrate the value that is going to allow us to stay committed to them. Well, by February, most people have already stopped even trying to do their New Year's resolution. They've given up on losing weight. They've stopped reading. They've stopped writing. They've stopped pursuing whatever else it is that they need, that they want to do? How about dropping it in the chat for me right now? Hey, Sharon, Renee, and Michael Ward, and brother Pastor Morrell. Why don't y'all drop in the chat for me right now on a scale of 1 to 10, the things that you envision in your heart on December 31st? Where are you? Are you on path, on track, or do you need a little bit of fire underneath you to help you to get back where you were? And then we're going to talk about how are those things really lined up with what you need to be concerned about. Drop it in the chat for me. Let me know if you feel like you are still on track with whatever New Year's resolution you set. And it's not a judgment zone. Hey, Be Long. Good. Yeah, I know you are on fire, Sharon, Renee, Crowder. And the reason why you are on fire, my love, is because you are living right in the center, in the purpose of God's will for your life. And you can see where you are going. And there's no distractions for you. You're living out your passion. And so you got it right where you need to be. If you set New Year's see there, hot toe, be more careful, y'all. She said she didn't set no New Year's resolutions. Because see, us strategic minded, spiritual minded Christians do not set temporary goals. We live in the presence of God and we live out his will for our life. Sharon Renee Crowder, you about to make me shout over here. And I'm trying to be like, this isn't a sermon, y'all. This is me talking to y'all, but I'm excited. Y'all, I'm excited. I love y'all so much. So today, I'm going to touch on a few things. But what I want to hit you all with the most is, what are the 3 things that you need to do in order to have goals beyond New Year's resolutions that will stick, that you will every year you will set that same goal until you get it done. I'm going to use myself as an example. I wish I had a picture of it. I would put it up here on the screen to show it to y'all. I used to have this whiteboard. And on this whiteboard, I think I got a picture of it. I'm going to tell you what it said. Hold on a second, y'all. I actually put it in the folder called important. I don't use the whiteboard anymore because I'm now using another kind of journal. But anyway, on this whiteboard, I would write on one side, I found it, y'all. I know y'all can't see it. Maybe you can. You see that? That's from, let's see. Y'all see that? You might can't read it, but you see it. So on the left side was my priorities. My priorities were God, family, health, financial health, and personal development, personal goals. And under each of those, I had specific things that I desired to get done. So in this particular picture, this was 2018. I said, relaunch, reestablish Living Water Church International. I said, finish the book, Thinking Your Way to Transformation, and a novel that I've been writing for like 10 years. Start your children's book ministry, grow your e-commerce business, do your jewelry designs, attend, and I had a list of conferences related to my dreams and desires that I wanted to attend for personal development. And I said, me and my husband were going to visit 24 new restaurants that year. And then I had some actual goals for each of my sons. That was in 2018. So I want you all to know that all I did, this was a whiteboard. So every year I would erase the year and put the new year. So for like maybe 5 years, all I did was erase the year and put the new year, because my goals did not change. I just was not getting them done. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I knew exactly the things that God had called me to do and where he had called me to be. And there was no reason for me to go and try to do something new until I had first obeyed what I heard in my heart and my ear when he first gave it to me. So when you set New Year's resolutions, you and this is my opinion, you are setting them from a place of, what am I going to do this year? And what you really need to be asking, the question on the table needs to be, what is God's plan for my life? Am I willing to live in agreement with God's plan for my life? Am I willing to envision my dream life according to what He has already placed on the inside of me? Now, this is how Christians need to live. This is how Christians plan their business, how they plan their career, how they plan their ministry. They live in the presence of God to get it done. And so my point was, and I know maybe I'm not all over the place. My point was that don't set a New Year's resolution just because it's the thing to do. You need to have a life plan, a vision for your life, some mission statements that are how you're going to be the vision. And then the goals are the step-by-step processes that you take to fulfill the mission. And the mission allows you to walk down the path to your vision. So right here today, if you haven't spent time in the presence of God to get clarity and to hear what He has to say about the things that you are spending your time on, that's what you need to do. So the three things that I want to share with you, and I'm not going to be on long, that you need to really, and these are principles that you need to focus on in order to set those goals and be able to have the same goals year after year after year until you do them. You can't just erase them off the board because you know that they are manna from heaven. Number one is agreement. You have to agree to live out your divine destiny, to live out your divine calling. You have to believe that God has placed something in you that the world needs. You have to believe that you are the one that can bring it into the earth. No one else can do what God has given you to do. Someone else can fill the gap if you don't do it, because God is not going to allow people to suffer because you won't step up to the plate to do what you were called to do. The story that comes to my mind for that is the story of Esther. You know, Mordecai told her, you were put here for such a time as this. Maybe you were called for such a time as this. And she had to get herself together at great risk to her own well-being to go and save the children of Israel at that time. So she had to get in a place where she fasted and prayed and had people fasting and praying with her and got in the presence of God so she could walk out her calling. And it wasn't an easy calling. She might have been afraid, but she trusted in the Lord and she walked it out and did what she needed to do. And now we have a book in the Bible with her name on it. She came in agreement. The Bible says, how can two walk together unless they be in agreement? How can you walk with God if you do not agree with His plan for your life? You'll keep going out there and chasing after Baby and Ray Ray and going on and chasing all these jobs and chasing all these things that are not going to bring you joy and peace. You're not going to have joy and peace until you get in agreement with what God has called you, who God has called you to be, most importantly, and then who you are leads you to do. So agreement. The second one is alignment. So first you agree with who God has called you to be, and you agree with the assignment, and then you begin to align yourself with works. You begin to align yourself with people. You begin to align yourself in geographic regions that allow you to manifest the works that God has inside of you. So first you have to agree with God, and that's going to bring you to a place of peace. You're going to rest in peace knowing that He who has began a good work in you is able to complete it. And then you are going to start to align. And that's an organizational term. And that means that instead of sporadically going through your year and picking up assignment here and assignment there, you're going to start saying no to some things. You're going to start saying no to some people. And you are going to start aligning your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, your relationships with who you are called to be and where you are called to go. And some people are going to disappear out of your life because they don't want to go where you seem to be headed. They are not going to be in agreement with your flow. And that's fine because you don't need the baggage. You need to allow yourself to be free from encumbrances that are going to keep you from moving into the direction that God who would have you to go. Hey, tell me now, what you going to do this year? Are you in alignment? Tell me, do you feel like you are in alignment with what God is calling you to do in your life? If you are, tell me yes. If you feel like you could do a little better, just clap your hands. Just say yes anyway, because we're going to speak it into existence, and your words are going to cause a shift in your thinking and your belief so that you can begin to align who you are and what you do with what God has called you to do and be. So it doesn't matter where you are right now. All that matters is that yes that I see right there in the chat. Y'all about to make me shout on this live that's supposed to be just a straight up teaching, y'all. Y'all heard that saying, never give a preacher a mic? Have you heard that one? Never give a preacher a mic. Because you know they show out. So tell me, drop in the chat, what's the first thing you got to do in order for you to create the peaceful life that you envision and live out a godly purpose in your life? What's the first thing you got to do? Give you a hint. It's agree. Drop me an A in the chat for agree. There you go. Do it. I ain't got to do it yet. That's my third point. Sharon Renee Crowder. Y'all, I wish I could put a picture in the comments for the cakes that Miss Sharon Renee Crowder has made for me and my family to eat this weekend during my son's wedding. Y'all, if y'all don't follow her already on Facebook, I want y'all to go and follow her. Sharon, if you got your group names, drop them in the comments too. For your two groups, because we got to start supporting each other as we lean into what God has called you to do. And you know it's lonely out here in these streets. There's not that many of us. It can seem like it, but there's really not that many of us who are climbing up the hill of God's presence to live there and then take his assignments that he gives us and go do them. Yes, agreement. So after you agree, then what you got to do? You got to align. So go ahead and drop me another A for align. There you go. Put the link. Put the link. If that's the at whatever. Align. You got to align. That's right. Align. That means, align is an antonym to crooked. So if you are aligned, that means you are walking a straight path. Now you might have to change directions, but you change directions because you are aligned with the one whose footsteps you walking in, right? As opposed to being crooked where you just all over the place and you being tossed to and fro with every wind of doctrine and you are confused and don't know what to do. Alignment is a huge part of being successful. It takes everything off the table that does not come from God. It's like, okay, you want me to do what? That doesn't fall in alignment with what God has called me to do. And you need to know that it's okay to tell people, no, I'm not gonna do it. I don't have time for that. Last one, and then I'm gonna let y'all go. Action. Sharon already said it. She said you got to do it. You got to take action. Action. You all know that people are using the word manifest in a uh, universal, super spiritual, pragmatic kind of sticks and stones and wood and earth and stars kind of way, that they're using the universe. The universe is allowing their desires to come, and they are learning how to be chief manifestors. And they are, uh, in most cases, when people are using the word manifest outside of the will of God, it's witchcraft. I'm gonna say it. It's witchcraft, and we have to be careful who we give credit to when we are getting blessed in our lives. We can't be. The universe is an inanimate object. I don't want some inanimate object or some demons that are trapped in the earth realm in our sphere to be the cause of me getting into things. I only want what the Lord has for me. So when I manifest, I'm manifesting God's will for my life. And He is pouring into me those things that are needed to bring it to pass. So when I take action based on my agreement with God, based on my alignment with His will, I am taking action, and His will is going to manifest in our life. God is a chief manifester. It says that He speaks those things into existence. He speaks those things which that are not until they come to pass. And then we, being made in His image and after His likeness, and having His spirit on the inside of us, we have access to that same creative power. The what confuses people is that the principles of God work for anybody who uses them. And you can manifest and give credit to the universe, and you can give credit to the stars, the moon, the sun, the mountains, anybody you want to. And you can get all the stuff that comes with those ways of manifesting. But I want to tell you, agreement with God, that brings peace in your life. How many of you know people who have manifested things, but they don't have peace with God? And you can tell it by the things that they say, by the way they're posting up, by the way they're always looking for somebody to accept them, to acknowledge them, to see them. All I need is to know what God wants me to do, and I'm going to go do it. And if it blesses somebody, that's good. And most of the times when God is calling you to do something, it's going to bless somebody anyway. Alignment. And then number 3, action. You got to do the doggone thing. My pastor used to say, pray, Pastor Charles H. Jackson, pray like it's all up to God, and then work like it's all up to you. See, a lot of times we want, and I've been in this place, super spiritual, sitting back waiting for the download blessing from heaven, when God has already placed everything that we need on the inside of us in order for us to be successful, in order for us to represent Him in the earth, in order for us to shine His light into dark places and eradicate it, y'all. Show enough, get it on up out of here. So listen, we got to agree with God. We got to align our life with Him. And then we got to take action based on this new paradigm. And I guarantee you that if you do that, you will not need to come up with a New Year's resolution on December 31st. You will not be in a place today where you are 2 weeks away from giving up on your 2023 plans. And then you're going to spend the rest of the year being tossed to and fro by every wind of doctrine that comes your way. Do not let this be you, because it ain't going to be me, and it ain't going to be you. If you continue to listen to my lies, I am going to keep on pressing on until we all get to the place where God will have us to be. Now, y'all, I did have some scripture for today. I'm getting ready to close. I want to look at here. But as for you, be strong and do not give up, for your work will be rewarded. That goes with the action. Just keep working. Galatians says, do not be weary in well doing, for in due time you will reap what you sow. And then this one, the plans of the Lord stand firm forever, the purposes of His heart through all generations. That's why on my little whiteboard, I was able for year after year after year to not really have to change anything, because God wasn't giving me any new assignments until I did the ones that were on that doggone board, y'all. Until I did the ones that were on the board, because He is not wishy-washy. He is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. And then finally, this one I think we need to really, really just lean into every day of our life. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge Him, submit to Him, and He will make your path straight. He will give you clarity so that you can walk out your purpose in this earth through the storms of life, through the sunny days and the rainy days, because you know that you are doing the work of the Lord. I love you all. I pray that this blesses you. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this. Ask me any questions that you want to. Next week, we are going to start talking about the principles of the ignited life. God downloaded them to my spirit, and He wants us to understand what it means to live a life that is on fire for God. When you live on fire for God, you will also walk in the abundant life. When you live on fire for God, you will have the peace of God that passes all understanding, regardless of the situations that you might encounter. When you live for God, you will take the steps that are necessary for your needs to be met by Him through the work that you do and through your relationship with those who He intersects you with. So that's what we're going to talk about next week. And the first one is going to be the principle of divine creativity. And that is a principle that allows you to solve all your problems and bring and manifest, y'all, those things that God has already ordained for you. Y'all be blessed. Have a good evening. Listen, I'll be checking the chat. If you want to come back and drop some more comments in there or some questions, send me a DM if you need to ask me something privately. If you need prayer, send me a DM and let me know where you are and what you are needing. I got something coming. I just need like 24 hours of peaceful, quiet time. And I got something new coming for us in 2023. Y'all be blessed and have a wonderful evening.